Friends, today we will study India China relations. So let's start the video. Dear students, India and China were great powers in Asia before the advent of Western imperialism. As we know that both of these countries, India and China, were great powers in Asia, and when we talk about past of these countries, then in China there was kingship, and kings extended their boundaries, increased their territorial areas, and they annexed some part of Mongolia and Korea. Similarly, there were also kings in India who also extended the boundaries of India, and they also increased the area of Indian territory. So, on this topic, both of these countries were similar to each other. And when colonial system was abolished from these two countries, from India and from China, both of these countries proceeded to establish new political and cultural relations with each other. As we know, there were not so many places on which these two countries were overlapping, so they were quite different in their traditions, customs, and what we say, religion also. So it was difficult for these countries to establish new relationships. Then after India regained its independence from Britain, when India got freedom from colonial system that was of British, then hopes for better relations developed between these countries. And a very famous slogan was given, that was Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai. It shows the relations between these two countries, India and China. No doubt, on the other side, there was some conflict or some differences on some issues between India and China. As in 1950, China took control of Tibet, and in 1962, there was territorial conflict between India and China. But this conflict of 1962, that was considered territorial conflict between India and China, had a long term impact on the diplomatic relations between these two countries. But in 1970, there was change in leadership in China. That's why the new leadership followed soft policies, and they started talks between India and China. And in 1976, relations between these two countries started improving slowly and slowly. So, since the end of Cold War, there have been significant changes in India and China relations, as we know. After the end of Cold War, significant changes were going on in the relations of India and China, and trade was also increased. And in 1988, the then Prime Minister of India, Rajiv Gandhi, visited China, and then he tried to console the high topics and establish peace and tranquility. After that, the relations between India and China were improved, and four posts, four posts, which were the ways to move from India and China, from India to China, and from China to India. Through these four posts, trade was done. So it improved the trade facility between India and China. And the impact of this improved relation was that the India-China trade in 1992 was dollar 338, and it increased 338 million, and it increased to dollar 84 billion in 2017. So after counting this figure, we can say the relations of trade between India and China are improved greatly. And when we talk about nuclear test, in 1998, India tested its nuclear, and India justified its nuclear test on the ground of self-defense against rising power of China. And there were some speculations that China was helping Pakistan in testing its nuclear weapon. And but this test and this claim for self-defense did not cast any serious impact on the relations between India and China. So at present, India and China have good relations. Even our leaders visit China, Beijing, and the leaders of China also visit Delhi. And as in 2019, the president of China, Xi Jinping, also visited India. And in 2018, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited China. And here is one more important nation, that is Japan. Dear students, Japan is the only country who bear two, which bear two nuclear weapon attacks on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. And even then, it made its rapid growth and is included in the top 7 economies of the world, that is called G7, and it is considered one of the developed countries of the world. While Japan is not prosperous in the matter of resources, but it is known for its technology. And when we talk about resources, then Japan imports components and resources from other countries, and uses its own technology, and that's why it is famous in the world for its technology. If we talk about financial aid of Japan to the UNO, then it is around 10%. And the Constitution of Japan clearly mentions that Japan will not engage in any type of war. So its constitution renounced any type of war, and that's why it spends only 1% of its GDP on military expenses. And here are some uh, world famous brands of Japan. I think you know very well. Those are Sony, Panasonic, Canon, Suzuki, Honda, Toyota, and Mazda. So Japan is known for its technology. And here there is another nation, that is South Korea. Dear students, it is also a very prosperous country. Uh, South Korea and North Korea are divided by 38 parallel line, and they were also engaged in war in 1950 to 1953. And some of the South Korean uh, products are, for which it is world famous. For example, Samsung, and some other resources are some other products like LG, Hyundai. They are also renowned product of South Korea in the world. So it is also making progress at a rapid uh, speed. So these two countries, Japan and South Korea, can also be seen as small centers of power in Asia. So dear students, our chapter completes here. In next class, we will start next chapter. Thank you for watching this video.